Oh, these old things. Those are all my Run Disney medals, and now I'm going to tell you everything you need to know before you sign up for a Run Disney race. Because in 1 week, the 2016 Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend opens up for registration. The most obvious thing about Disney races, and probably the most criticized, is how expensive they are. Now, it's not to say that you shouldn't do them, it's just saying be aware. You do have to pay more than you would for a hometown race and even more than obstacle races. Now, if you've done any research about an upcoming Run Disney race, you'll notice that you have to sign up very far in advance. And I absolutely 100% recommend that you sign up immediately when the registration opens. That means at noon Eastern Standard Time, you need to be on your computer with your preferred method of payment ready, and you need to know what you're signing up for. These races sell out the day they open, within hours, sometimes within minutes. The last race I signed up for was the half marathon in Disneyland this September, and I signed up for the Dumbo Double Dare Challenge, which sold out in 27 minutes. If I wasn't there to sign up, I would have been very disappointed because it's the 10th anniversary. And just so you know, for the marathon weekend, the first thing to sell out is the Dopey Challenge, which is doing all 4 races. So unless you're just doing one race or something like the Goofy Challenge, which I don't think it ever sells out anymore, you need to sign up as soon as possible, immediately when it opens, or you will not get a spot, or you will have to pay thousands of dollars to a charity for a bib. With that being said, there are ways to sign up early through some travel agencies, and that information can be found on Run Disney's website. Once race day gets here, you need to wake up very early. If you're staying on the property, you have to board a bus between 3 and 5 a.m. And I would recommend trying to get on the bus about 4:30 unless your race starts like before 6 o'clock. If you are in the last half of the corrals, you'll be starting between 6 and 6:30, so it's not as important to be on the bus at like 3 a.m., but you cannot get transportation after 5 a.m. unless you pay for it yourself, and even then it's risky, which I had to do this past year at the marathon because I woke up at 4:55, but that's a story for another day. And another note on time, if you are not staying on Disney property and your hotel does not provide you transportation and you have to drive yourself, I couldn't even tell you how early you would possibly have to get up or how far you have to walk from the parking lot or how hard it is to find parking because I've never done it, and I'm going to avoid doing it as long as I can in my Run Disney career. And I don't even want to know what kind of madhouse that is, but I'm sure there's people you can find and talk to them about it. I've heard that some people drive there really early and then nap in their car before the race, but that just sounds terrible. And if you are doing a big race like the half marathon or the marathon for the first time, I highly recommend not driving yourself, especially if it's your first race of that kind at all. Just let them pick you up and bring you where you need to be. It's so much easier. This brings me to my next point. When you do arrive at the drop-off point that the bus drops you off, you still have a lot of walking to do before you get to your corral. I tracked it this year with my Garmin watch, and it was 2 miles. So if you're running a marathon, plan on walking 2 miles before you even get to the start line, and consider that your warm-up because there's no way to get around it, and you have to go through a lot of security, which is good, and a lot of other things, and you have to walk quite a bit to get to your corral, and then stand there and wait while all the other races start. So if you're in the last corral, you'll be waiting an hour after the elite runners start to actually start. So tag that on to your time that you will be using your legs before you run. Just be aware of it. It's not that bad. There's usually a lot of fun people to talk to, and you can make some friends, but you will be waiting a while. Now here's something that should be obvious from the course map and just general geographical knowledge, but it's something that most people don't seem to understand. You are not running through the parks the whole time. You do get to run through the parks, and you get to run past the biggest landmarks like the castle and the sorcerer's hat, which I think they've taken down, but you get the idea. And every year I hear people complaining when we are on the different parts of the course, like they didn't realize that you have to run on different areas. You're not in the park the whole time. Like they just think that the parks are magically connected the day of the race and you can just weave through them. No. So just be aware of that and don't get your hopes up that the whole time you will be in with the parks and characters. But there are characters on other parts of the course, and there's a lot of like high school marching bands and cheerleaders and things like that to entertain you along the way, DJs and all sorts of things. They try to make it fun, so there's something at least every mile to look forward to, and it's really a great time. Now, I feel like this should go without saying, but you'd be surprised. You actually have to run the race and finish to earn your medal. They do not give it to you in advance. They do not just give it to you because you paid for the race. You actually have to run. I was at the expo this winter and I was picking up my bib and my pins, and there was a woman giving some nice volunteers a very hard time because she wanted her medal now. And it was 3 days before the race. And she felt that she had paid for it, so she should be able to have it when she wants it. And they tried to explain to her that you just pay for the race registration, you actually have to earn the medal, but she did not like the sound of that. Let me know in the comments below if you will be signing up for a Run Disney race or why you won't be signing up for a Run Disney race. And don't forget to subscribe.